On today's episode of the Mac Truck Podcast, the WNBA will have a season. Okay, you heard it here. I'm not going to say you heard it here first, but you heard it here. The Paralympics were a success, especially across the board in makeup for women. MVP Promotions is opening the door for women's combative sports. We're going to have all the details there. Women's tackle football season starts this Saturday. Okay, it is Monday, the 23rd. It starts Saturday. We'll have the details there, as well as all the crazy madness and matchups from the first couple rounds of the NCAA Women's March Madness bracket. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mac Truck, aka your worst nightmare. Mac Truck, aka your worst nightmare. Mac Truck, aka your worst nightmare. Mac Truck, Mac Truck, Mac Truck.
Game day energy starts right now. This is the Mac Truck Pod. Big plays, big opinions, zero hesitation. Turn it up. Let's talk sports. My name is Mac. We're back in the studio after another little bit of a hiatus. Sometimes adulting can get you down a little bit, but we're back. We got all kind of stuff to talk about, as y'all heard in the intro. Let's get started. You can find all this information at WNBA.com, as far as ESPN.com as well, via Shams Charania, and on X via Alyssa Philippou. Okay, so let's get into it. The WNBA will have a season in 2026. It's about damn time. In the illustrious words of Lizzo, it's about damn time. Okay, in a minute, I'm gonna need a CBA to get together, and that's what we have so far. It's been verbalized. It's now been inked in pen. Beginning stages of being inked. So we're gonna talk about it. The WNBA has stated that they have come to a verbal agreement with the union for a new CBA just 51 days after the original deadline. Mind you, we're going to get into that in a little bit, and just about a month or two-ish months before the kickoff of the 30th season of the WNBA. Mind you, again, I said the 30th season of the WNBA. Okay, I'm 34. I'm older than the WNBA, which is crazy to think about. I'm older than a lot of things, which makes me feel ancient. Either way, the WNBA is having its 30th season kicking off May 8th of this year. Okay. Here are some of the details. Firstly, the verbal agreement and the discussion itself took over 100 hours. Okay. It took 100 hours after the original, or the extended, the most recent, I should say it, most recent extended deadline. Okay. That's just that. And I believe that extended deadline was March 10th, for the record. It is now the 23rd. So 13 days ago, it went 100 hours after that. Just so we were kind of putting things into perspective. And as I'm reading the meat and bones of this information to you guys, I'm going to go back here in just a second and give you the comparisons from where it started to from where it was in 2025 to where it is now. So hang tight with me. New salary cap for each team will start at $7 million. Okay. The mini cap, or what I like to call it is the mini cap, but it's actually the minimum salary cap itself, is now starting at above $300,000, which means the minimum contract that somebody can get in the WNBA as a player. Obviously, like, depending on details and everything, minimum salary cap for a contract is now $300K. It will now be less than that. Super max deals starting at $1.4 million, 20% of the revenue shares across the board. So, in other words, kind of like we talked about just about a month ago with our last CBA update in terms of the WNBA. So 20% of revenue shares means the Players Union, CPA, whatever you want to call it, gets 20% of the league revenue shares after bills and things have been paid. So that could include more jersey sales. That could include merchandise, things like that. We're still waiting to hear on. And then according to WNBA Union President Nneka Ogwumike, stated that the salaries will be tied to the revenue, and average revenue compensation will exceed $500K, which is ridiculous and great in the same respect, because the entirety of this whole entire CBA is the fact that the players of the WNBA have wanted to be paid adequately, not so much equally to their counterparts with their sibling league in the NBA. And that's another discussion we could have constantly, but right now it's about pay adequacy in terms of what you're getting from your players in the league versus the league itself. Either way, So here's the comparisons in terms of 2026 from where it is now to where it was last year. The team salary cap in 2025 was 1.5 million per team. It is now again 7 million. The Supermax deal in 2025 was 249,244. In 2026, it's 1.4 million. An average salary for a WNBA player in 2025, okay, was 120 grand. Now it's 600K rather. And the minimum salary cap for 2025 versus 2026, 2025 was $66,079. The now maximum or minimum salary cap rather is $300,000. So let's just peel this back a little bit. So for those who've been following, obviously, this CBA in its entirety, as far as like, okay, what are the players wanting, like the stipulations, those types of things. And we kind of, if you remember, a couple episodes back, we talked about some of the biggest stipulations in terms of tangible things or non-tangible things rather. So outside of just the money and outside of the contracts, it's, making sure you're taking care of your players. And one of the biggest things up until this CBA was people or teams rather trading players away during pregnancy. That has been one of the biggest issues. And again, if you guys remember, Dearica Hamby had an issue with the Las Vegas Aces and ended up winning that because they traded her while she was pregnant without her knowing. Now you have to ask permission. Now you have to seek permission through the team and league itself. So those are more details to come. Obviously, there's still some stuff that need to be worked out and worked around. So we're going to get to that. And I'm going to tell you this. I listen to a lot of sports radio. I listen to a lot of, like, obviously the solidified shows, the section shows, what do you want to call them. Some of the takes from these dudes are absolutely asinine. Like, and I don't remember the show, and I don't really remember the individual. Per se. Okay, I remember the show. So it's the Dan Le Batard show. Mind you, I love Dan Le Batard. Have loved him for a long time. Loved when he was on ESPN with Stugotz and Pops and all the things. Okay, I still to this day listen to that show religiously. There's a dude on there. I don't know, some kind of anchor, analyst, something or other. And it's seemingly enough, he comes off as like he doesn't want women in sports to succeed. And if that's cool, then switch that shoe up and wear it, homie. But don't sit here and flip-flop. Like, he got onto the show and was just talking about how the labor for the WNBA ended up losing this because of, like, everything that they've asked for essentially wasn't good enough. Well, you can't ask for an entire pot of gold when you only have a little bit of stepping stones, my guy. Like, we're asking for this now, and as the league grows, we can ask for more. That's exactly what they just did. Like, you bumbling ding-dong, wake up, okay? Up until now, to the 30th year anniversary of the WNBA and its enshrinement of a sport and professional sports outlook in the globe. Okay, the WNBA has grown from '94 to now. Okay, like, let's just wake up here. Okay, '94 to now, it's grown. Collective bargaining agreements, started growing with it. Now we're at the end of 2025-2026 season. We're going into the 30th season. Going into 2026, now we need to renegotiate what things are looking like. Teams have grown, the game has grown, sponsorship has grown, everything has grown. So you have to grow your league and your payment structure for your players with the growth and speed of the game. What part of that do you not understand? You're obviously on that show for a reason, and I don't think you know simple business manners, but it's okay. I'm going to sit here and call you out because you're never going to listen to the show, but the people that listen to the show understand how business works. Like, don't sit there and talk about how the labor has suffered because of the CBA agreement. You can't milk a dry cow, honey. You can't pull blood from a drained artery. Like, hello, wake the hell up. Anyway, rant over. I just needed to express how agitated that made me feel. But either way, we will have a WNBA season. Like I said, you can find all this information at WNBA.com, ESPN.com via Shams Charania, and on X via Alexa Philippou. Okay, be excited. Okay, we got the WNBA draft coming. Okay, we're still literally in the midst of women's college basketball March Madness. Unfortunately, my Iowa Hawkeyes are no longer in it. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. There's going to be another rant, so y'all are just going to have to deal with it. Okay? So moving on into the next topic here on the Metro Podcast, and I appreciate you guys watching, listening, doing all the things, whether you're on the stream, whether you're on the studio, or you're listening live on the station. I appreciate y'all. We're getting into it, okay? The 2026 Paralympics did not disappoint y'all, okay? If you watched the Olympic Games itself, you should have paid at least a little bit of attention to the Paralympics. I'll tell you that within the past couple Olympic triads, I have got in more and more into Paralympic athletics. And I will tell you, them mugs are impressive. Like, the fact that these athletes are out here making their athletic dreams come true and possibly having some kind of handicap or ailment type of thing, that's not keeping them down. Like, they are not keeping this. They, you could be, they could be missing, a limb of some kind, and they're still out here persevering and getting gold. So let's just get into it right now. 2026 Paralympics, like I said, have come to a close. It was, to say that it was a success is literally an understatement. Okay, here's your top 5 medal count for the end of the Paralympics for 2026. China in first place with 44 medals across the board, 15 gold, 13 silver, and 16 bronze. The United States, second place with 24 medals, 13 gold, 5 silver, and 6 bronze. Russia at number 3 with 12 medals, 8 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze. The host country in Italy, 16 medals total, 7 gold, 7 silver, and 2 bronze. And finally, to round out the top 5, Austria coming in at number 5 with 13 medals, 7 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze. Some key highlights for the Paralympics across the board. And we have a lot of them. So hang with me. Like I said, if you're here in the chat, if you're here watching live, listening live, I appreciate you. If you're just joining in, this is the Mac Truck Podcast Live. I appreciate you and all the things, because we're here to talk sports at a high level. And that's what we do. Starting off in our key highlights, Oksana Masters, Nordic skiing, great. Okay, I have done my research on this individual. This girl is all about the skiing, all about all things power and endurance. Okay, grabs her 11th gold medal and 21st medal in the women's cross-country sprint sitting event. When I looked up how on earth somebody sprint skis while they're sitting, never again will I ever underestimate the strength and power it takes to do that. The other sport that I've been keeping my eye on is sledge hockey. Listen, sledge hockey is now, I think, my 3rd favorite sport ever in life. It's so aggressive. Oh, I love it. Either way, Nordic skiing, cross country, and biathlon. Again, Oksana Masters gets 11th gold medal and 21st of her career in the women's cross country sprint sitting event. Kendall Gredish, also with Nordic skiing event, athlete, competed and collected multiple medals in the games, including gold in the parabiathlon women's sprint pursuit sitting. Again, all of these things that you naturally kind of just wrap your mind around. Okay, biathlon, we're swimming, we're running, we're riding a bike, whatever that looks like, in 3 different events. The same in similar events, just seated. Listen, I'm mind blown. And I actively saw myself and caught myself going back in and going back to rewatch the highlights and then going back to YouTube and be like, okay, how did you do that? How did you do that? It's just like my mind was just like if anybody knows me, I'm such a student of the world of athletics and sports. I will sit there and binge watch random things on YouTube, or I'll sit there and binge watch random things on documentaries and sports science and things like that, because I'm just so how did they do that? How did they get the body to do that? Is it scary? What's the adrenaline? I'm always constantly watching and wanting to learn. So being able to watch the Paralympics and actually sit down and pay close attention was fantastic for me. More into our key highlights for the Paralympics. Brianna Huckabee, para snowboarder, wins the bronze medal in the women's banked slalom to take her career total to 5 medals, deeming her the most decorated snowboarder in Paralympic history. And again, when people think half pipe and snowboarding, they're thinking Shaun White, they're thinking people of that nature, Chloe Kim. Okay, now you're thinking Brianna Huckabee. Again, because if y'all have ever snowboarded on a half pipe or skateboarded on a half pipe, they are not soft. Snowboarding on an incline, a half pipe, and doing it, while having a little bit of a disadvantage, whatever that looks like, is to me 2 times as impressive as doing it in an Olympic setting, just because it seems like there's so much more that goes into being able to set yourself up for success in that way when we're so used to seeing what's quote unquote the normalized Olympics, which I think we need to get the hell rid of. That's just me. Sports are sports, no gender, things like that. Obviously, situations turn, change, all the things. Fact of the matter is, these athletes in the Paralympics are doing the exact same types of things, just even a little bit better because they may have a disadvantage one way or the other. Okay. Also, the Paralympic Games set a new record for female participation, having women competing and also marking really 18% increase from Beijing in 2022, which is crazy because we kind of had this very similar stat line with the Olympic Games itself, with the women of the Team USA essentially collecting 67% of the medals and 61% of the gold medals that were won in the 2026 Winter Olympics for this Olympiad. And it's crazy to think that people sit there and say, oh, people don't watch women's sports. I bet you they do. Check the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Statistics don't lie either. Okay. It's nuts to me. And I could be rambling. I could be making sense. I don't know. That's for y'all to decide, I guess. I see y'all laughing in the chat. I appreciate it. The next time somebody tells you people don't watch women's sports and you catch them watching a WNBA game, or you catch them watching a volleyball game or a women's boxing match or whatever, make sure you call them out. Because last time I checked, I thought you ain't watch women's sports. I thought nobody watches women's sports. But that's just me. Listen, before we hop in to the next segment here, we always have to give our shout outs, okay, to our sponsor and partner in My Bag Apparel and Customs by Evan Bradfield. Again, the official sponsor and partner of the Mac Truck Pod. Right now, when you shop online at inmybag.bigcartel.com and use the code word truck, you will get 15% off your entire first order. That's code word truck, TRUCK, for 15% off at checkout when you shop online at inmybag.bigcartel.com. And also be sure to check the line out also on the Whatnot app and on the TikTok shop. You can get all things Mama Combat. You can get all things knitted jerseys. Okay, knitted jerseys are in. I can't wait to get mine. I'm getting both of them. Okay. And also all things Mac Truck podcast attire in terms of your merch, hoodies, t-shirts, all the things. Make sure you're hitting Evan up online as well for all things Mac Truck and In My Bag Apparel and Customs lines of clothing. Now, listen, we've talked a little bit. We've had a lot of information thrown, lots of discussion. But now, we're getting into something that I've been really wanting to draw with y'all about, really talk with y'all about, really be excited to talk about. Okay? I'm gonna put this on the front for you. Y'all know how I feel about Jake Paul's boxing. Okay? I'm a huge fan of the boxing. Like, as far as just insert yourself into the pro circuit. For real. Like, you're a good enough boxer. I'm gonna give you that. As somebody who's been around the game for a long time, in a combative style, mind you, like, you can box, dude. Just sign up for, just enter yourself in the pro circuit. Oh my goodness. Anyway, okay, rant over. Like I see y'all laughing down here in the chat. Thank you so much. Listen, what Jake Paul has done, seemingly enough, correct. Well, obviously subjectively, depending on how you see things, other things. Jake Paul has literally repaved the way for women's combative sports. And what I mean by that is most valuable promotion, okay, has now recreated the tract of combative sports with boxing and MMA, okay? And let me just read you this mission statement from MVP Promotions. Okay, this thing I'm all for. When I was doing, writing the notes, all the research, all the things. And again, you can find all this stuff at yahoosports.com, espn.com, and usatoday.com. Okay. MVP Promotions itself was established in 2021 by Jake Paul and Nikisa Biederan. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right because I do believe it's a Polish last name. So I'm going to try. But Jake Paul and Naskia have founded this company. Okay, the mission is to build a premier global boxing platform, create opportunities for fighters, especially women, and offer creative control. What? Like, where are you going to find a mission statement like that? That literally says in parentheses, especially women. Because Jake Paul knows that women's boxing and women's combative sports has literally been where it's at. Quite literally. If you guys know your kind of your historical track in terms of the evolution of women's combative sports, some people want to say that it started with Layla Ali. Some people want to say it started with Gina Carano. We'll get to that, a little bit more details here in just a second. Really started with Lucia Riker. Lucia Riker, Dutch kickboxing champion, was literally sanctionally fighting dudes and piecing them apart like chopped liver, like a steak, like a Thanksgiving turkey, okay? Chopping these boobs up. Comes to America. Starts to do the same thing. Starts to get the awareness out that, like, women are out here doing the same damn thing and fighting men. So I don't know what y'all want. Then there was Ann Wolfe. Ann Wolfe put women's boxing really on the map, essentially, by knocking out Vonda Ward. Vonda Ward, 6'4", Ann Wolfe, about 5'9", 5'10", knocked her out with an overhand right. Shot her around the world. Then we move into the Layla Ali era. Layla Ali, Christy Martin, people of that nature. Okay. Then we still get it. We're still into boxing. Goes to Shield, wins the Olympics. Then goes on to create an entire portfolio of just nothing but perfection in terms of boxing. And right in the middle there, we have the MMA. We have Gina Carano, who started it out less than mainstream in terms of where the attention for women's MMA was going. And then we have Ronda Rousey, who really kicked it into gear in terms of the mainstream light for women's combative sports. Okay. Listen to me. The list of fighters that are on, and this is not even all of them, this is a list of 23 fighters that I have compiled on this list. So hang tight. Like I said, thank you guys for joining me. This is the Matt Truck Show, Matt Truck Podcast. You can find it pretty much anywhere: iHeartRadio, TikTok, YouTube, StreamYard, Facebook Live, anywhere you get your audio streaming pleasure. Okay. Here's your list of boxers and fighters for the MVP Promotions roster. Amanda Serrano, Shadaysha Green, O'Shea Jones, Caroline Dubois, Tiara Brown, Diana Thorson, Michaela Mera, Costa Valle, Chantel Cameron, Ellie Scottney, Alicia Baumgartner, Leslie Robinson, Kim Clavell, Shamika Johnson, Terry Harper, Jennifer Miranda, Stephanie Hahn, Jasmine Ortega, Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Gina Carano, and Savannah Marshall. So, and like I said, that is just a short list of some of the fighters and boxers that are on this promotions roster. It's outrageous to me. Now, just to give you guys a reminder here, okay, MVP Promotions is hosting its first MMA event ever, and the first one ever broadcasted live on Netflix May 16th. Okay, so the week after the WNBA starts, Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. And when I tell you that I cannot wait for this fight, I think that's an understatement. I absolutely am. I need May to get here. I need April to just scoot on by. Okay, I need May to get here. I need all things Ronda Rousey, all things Gina Carano, and I'm still very much torn on who I want to win. Okay, because in my head, growing up as a young budding fighter, trying to figure out emotions and things and what I want to do, like watching the both of them was very prominent for my makeup in terms of my career, in terms of my combative fighting career. So those two ladies, Dina and Rhonda and Quentin Rampage Jackson, those three, listen, it's very important. Either way, we're gonna get into the next segment here. Now listen, before we hop into this, I've been kind of keeping y'all in the dark about something big, and as soon as I get the confirmation back, I'm dropping it in the next couple episodes. Just keep staying with me. If you're in that circle of things that's happening and know, like, just be patient. Be patient with me because it's gonna happen. I'm so excited to announce this. I will tell you that it is an added partnership to the Mac Truck Show, the Mac Truck Podcast. Again, however you see it, this is a new partnership. I can't wait to announce it. Just know that we have now added a new partner along with In My Bag Apparel, and I can't wait. So stay tuned, hang with me, okay? Moving in to the brackets and some of this information here for the women's March Madness tournament. First round, got some results for you, and I kind of just randomly picking. Obviously, had to have Iowa State on here. We'll get to them in a second here. High Point versus Vanderbilt this past weekend. High Point came in at number 15, 15 seed at 27-5 versus Vanderbilt came in at 2. Vandy beats High Point 102-61. University of Texas San Antonio comes in at a 16 seed and was 18-15 on the season versus number 1 UConn. UConn beats the brakes off of them 90-52. South Carolina beats Southern 103-34. Howard comes into this first round against Ohio State at a 14 seed at 26-7. Ohio State came in at a 3 seed, 26-7. Also on the season, 75-44 in favor of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Charleston came into this game number 14 seed at 27-5 versus Carol Lawson's Duke Blue Devils at number 3, 24-8 on the season. Duke beats Charleston 81-64. Jacksonville comes in to this first round as well at a 15 seed at 24-8. Comes in to T-Mac Arena, visits Kim Wilkie, Florida Johnson, and Kayla Williams. Those ladies and the LSU Tigers get the job done. LSU beats Jacksonville 116-58. Idaho comes in at number 13 at 29-5 versus Oklahoma in the first round. Oklahoma came into this game as a number 4 seed at 24-7. OU beats Idaho 89-59 in the first round. Fairfield comes in to this first round at number 11, 28-4 versus Notre Dame 22-10. Notre Dame beats Fairfield 79-60. Fairleigh Dixon came into the first round at number 15, 30-4, looking to knock off the Hawkeyes in the first round. Did not happen. Iowa came into this game as number 2 seed, 26-6 on the season. Iowa beats FEU 58-48. And I will have the results for the Iowa game that just happened here in a little bit. And to top off this first round in terms of these results here, Syracuse, number 9, comes in and beats Iowa State, coming in at an 8 seed. Syracuse was 23-8 on the season, coming in the first round. Iowa State was 22-9 coming in the first round. Syracuse beats Iowa State and Audie Crooks and Bill Finley 72-63. Now, like I said, just kind of picked and chose, just randomly, okay? And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you watched the Iowa game that just ended about an hour ago, you can't be upset. Obviously, I'm upset because, like, I need Iowa to get back to its prominence, which they are slowly doing that. Iowa has been a very young team. Iowa was full of sophomores this year. Taylor McCabe tears her ACL the same weekend her sister hurts her ankle, out for the rest of the season. Hannah Stokey struggles from the foul line. Okay, very young. Addie Deal, freshman. Ava Hayden, sophomore. Okay, Taylor Strumlow, sophomore. Like, with a very, very young team. I expect Iowa to make another resurgence of the dominance that they've just had in the past couple seasons with the Caitlin Clark and Monica Sinanu era, with the Megan Gustafson era. Okay, I look for them to start to make a comeback to that dominance, but they're going to have to start replacing people as people graduate, as people leave. Overall, I can't be upset. I'm a little hurt that they didn't make it, but double overtime versus Virginia, and everybody counted Virginia out. I ain't gonna lie. I did not have Virginia beating Iowa, but I didn't have them winning in double overtime either. So this is why March Madness is a thing. I just need y'all to understand that. Right now, as we're in the studio, I literally have the Ohio State Notre Dame game on. It's 5 minutes and 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Notre Dame is up by 10 points. Okay. It's a crazy game. It's a crazy time to be alive in sports right now. And you love to see it. Okay. You love to see it. It's 66-58. Notre Dame, like I said, 5 minutes and 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter for that. We have all kinds of games still left here, all kinds of rounds. Just it's nuts out here. And I love sports so much. Like, I know y'all are looking at me. I'm looking at the chat, okay? Y'all are laughing at me, and I'm so for real, but we gotta stay on topic here. It's the last topic for this show, the women's show, the women's takeover. You always know we have a women's sports frenzy. We either have a sports frenzy or a wraparound. It's a lot to take in. Listen, women's tackle football season starts on Saturday. Okay, and I don't know if y'all can see my actions on the screen. You can see the excitement in my face. Clearly, I'm talking with my hands. Listen, women's tackle season is here. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you about a little bit about a project that I'm doing with women's tackle football. The WNFC kicks off the season on the 28th. That is this coming Saturday. It's 5 days away. Okay, by the time you listen to this, probably be 4 or 3 days away, depending on when you listen to the show. I cannot wait. I have been dying and itching and scratching and clawing to be able to say that. The Women's National Football Conference is literally one of the premier leagues in women's tackle football. To play football at a high level, past high school and past the collegiate level. And it makes it even better because now the NCAA has added women's varsity flag football as a sport. And listen, I still got 2 years of eligibility left. Play with me because I will mess around and try to enroll at MSU or Michigan, even though I'm an Island girl. Okay, I will play with me. I will find some way to play. You think I'm kidding? If there's a will, the Mac will find a way. Listen, I can't. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But the fact that the NCAA has added women's flag football as a varsity collegiate sport, and the fact that there's now a feeder system, or even better feeder system, I should say, because there's already feeder systems in place for women's tackle football. But now that there's a big one in terms of the NCAA track is, I just listen. You gotta be here. It's something that you had to be here for, quite literally. Either way, the WNFC competes across 4 different divisions this year: Central, Atlantic, Northwestern, and Pacific. I got all the conferences on the teams for you as well. Okay. You can also get this information at WNFCfootball.com. Just so we're clear, you can get all this information there as well. You can also follow them on social media, which is not limited to Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Just saying. And your Atlantic Conference, you have the Atlanta Truth, the Florida Vendors, the Jersey Shore Wave, and the Washington Prodigy. In the Central Conference, you have the Chicago Winds, the Mississippi Panthers, the Tennessee Trojans, and the Texas Elite Spartans. Shout out Spartans. In the Northwestern Conference, KC Glory, shout out, Oregon Ravens, Seattle Majestics, and the Utah Falcons. Shout out both Utah and Seattle. Okay. Pacific Conference, Golden State Storm, Las Vegas Silver Stars, Los Angeles Legends, and the San Diego Rebellion. Shout out Rebellion. Obviously, I have my couple teams that I am deeply involved in, but the entirety of the fact is women's tackle season is here. Women's tackle season is here. Buckle all the way up. Buckle all the way up. Okay. You can watch the entire WNFC season for free, streaming with Victory Plus Sports. You literally can stream the entire season when you stream with Victory Plus Sports. No subscription fees, no nothing. You simply make an account and you're good to go. You might not even have to do that depending on how easy it actually is. It's been a little bit since I've done mine. Might have to go back and reestablish that. But listen, that's all we got for this episode of the Mac Truck Show, Mac Truck Podcast. I appreciate you guys showing up, being here for me. Okay. I'm going to have more to come as far as episodes. We got another episode coming here in a little bit. So hang with me. And before we kind of, do our heart out and leave this episode and get it out there for y'all, I wanted to let you guys know on this project I'm doing. So, those of you who know, I am a huge fan of the Pat McAfee show. Okay. I personally believe Pat McAfee and the Toxic Table and all the boys over there in the Thunderdome do its very best to deliver sports news and sports information, and equally, like they've had so many female and women's athletes on. They support women's sports for the most part, but what they don't know about is women's tackle football. So I was listening to an episode, one of the episodes just after the Olympics. At one of the ends of the shows, Pat McAfee basically was like, if there's anything that people think we should cover, submit it to the show. So I'm like, what can I do that's going to, what can I do that's going to kind of stick out? How can I stick myself out there and make, how can I get my content out there without it just being like an email or a strongly worded letter? I have started to do a content, kind of like a content every day accountability type of thing. I'm going on day 12 as of here in the next 10 minutes. It's 10 to 6 here, Eastern time. And every day for the past 12 days, I have given some form of history in terms of tackle football in states. I've given general information. I've given just kind of Q&As just to get the word out there that women's tackle football is a thing. And if you guys will, listen to the Pat McAfee show, they are football heads. Okay, they are like 99% all things ball. Obviously with basketball, baseball, other sports sprinkled into it, they are football heads. And I figured with them being football heads, I was just like, well, they're football heads. Football season never ends if your name is Mac Truck, because you just have to know where to find it. So I've been doing my damnedest to get anybody over there to recognize, like, share, subscribe, or even just look at any of my content. Because, and to be honest, and I'm a little bit biased because I love me some me. Okay, I'm a me type of person. I love me some me, but I also love me some women's type of football. I love me some football in general. Okay, so that's why I started doing this, is because I love football. I just retired after 15 seasons in July, and I don't still to this day know how to wrap my head around it. The fact that I haven't had to really watch my diet for a sport or be in the gym every day after work or that type of thing to prepare for a season is something that I'm struggling with. So I figured, why not use my platform to bring awareness to the sport that I love? So that's what I'm doing. And with that, that's what we got so far. I thank you guys so much for joining us. TikTok feed, normal feed, live show, pre-taped show, or post-taped show, I should say. I appreciate you guys. My name is Mac Truck. Make sure you tune in every week for new episodes, new content. Make sure you follow me on pretty much any social site you can think of. I probably have it. Don't be offended if I don't follow you back. It takes me forever to really figure out who's following and all the things because I got so many. My name is Mac Truck. Listen, catch us on the next run. Stay tuned and stay sporty.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mac Truck, aka your worst nightmare.